Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Our Life, Our Journey,
Our Truth.
We're so excited to have you connected on today.
Yeah.
And of course, as always, it's a joy to have you on this platform every single week with us. And if you're on for the first time, thank you for just joining us. And we would love to connect with you. Follow Dr. Steph at Dr. Steph Walker. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3 on Instagram, all those great things. And make sure you go to our website, josephwalker3.org, for merch and all that good stuff out there. Get our book. I have a great book out there. It's called Becoming a Couple of Destiny. I promise you it'll bless you. And make sure while you're here that you comment, that you like, that you subscribe,
and you share with your friends and family.
Always
for sure.
share, because we want to make sure we get the word out, and we certainly appreciate y'all. So listen, guys, today got a great topic. It's something that we know a little something about, right?
Yeah,
and it's about how you bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself.
How do you move forward with clarity, man, and really go after what God has called you to do? You know, I think so many people, you spend your entire life, you know, always investing in others. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being generous and doing that. But at some point, there's gifts and dreams and things that God has placed in you. The question is, how do you trust that enough to really make the necessary
investments?
Yeah, to show that you're willing to bet on yourself. And you can't be scared now. And we're going to talk about that. And so when you bet on yourself, man, let's start here. I think it really comes to really the intentionality of belief. Believing that you have what it takes.
That God has gifted you with something different, with something amazing, with something that, you know, that je ne sais quoi, that thing that can get you to the next level, something that only you can do.
The Bible says in Philippians 1, that thing that God has started in you, He will perform to the day of Jesus Christ, right? That God has begun something, a great work in your life, and you got to believe. And sometimes I think the chatter from negativity sometimes can cause us to stop believing that we actually can do it or worthy to do it. And we start wondering, well, I've got this problem, I've got this weakness, I've got this struggle.
Or no one in my family has done it, or no one around me is doing it, or, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses, but the Joneses aren't doing much of anything.
Yeah.
So that's also the kiss of death, too.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the Joneses, by the way. I mean,
right, exactly.
These people. But nevertheless, you know, I think that it's incredibly important when we talk about believing in you, is to really have enough confidence, I call it Godfidence, to really walk in the authority that God has given you and to believe that God has placed something extraordinary inside of you. And regardless of being the first, you have to be willing to say, Lord, am I the one to be the first in my family, in my bloodline, to walk out in this space? And
it's so interesting, because I also think we have this tendency to cheer for everyone else.
Everybody else.
When someone to your right does something good and they're your friend, family, loved one, whatever, you're like, yeah, girl, yeah, you know, that's what's up. Yeah, go get it. You know, when someone is doing something and they're asking for your support, you're showing up, you're there to support them. When someone is trying to build a business, you're over there supporting their business. At work, wherever you're working, whatever you're doing, you're building someone else's dream, right? Someone else's goals or what have you. And so at some point, in some season, it's okay to turn the mirror towards yourself and say, you know what? What do I want out of this? What do I want out of life? I'm constantly investing in other people, which is great. That's seed that you're sowing. Now it's time for me to invest in myself. Bet on myself. If they can do it, I can do it. If you can see it, then that means that it can be done. And even if you can't see it, if you believe it, you can achieve it.
I tell people all the time, you have to have more faith in your faith than faith in your doubt.
Yes.
You get it?
And that's so interesting. Like, I feel like, and we do this a lot in our culture, I believe, and also as women, let me just speak to the ladies out there. Someone can give us 1,000 compliments, and we'll be like, oh, thank you. But in our mind, we'll be like, you know, maybe not. Maybe they're just being really nice. But one person can say one negative thing, and that can completely throw off our day. That will sort of resonate in our spirit. We'll absorb that. We'll believe that one thing and shut out all those 1,000 other positive things that happen. And that's something that I think as a whole we really need to work on.
I absolutely believe that with all of my heart. And so I think that really the belief in oneself and the belief that you have the God-given deposit in you to accomplish whatever you set out to do is the first act of, I think, just really betting on you. You'll never bet on what you don't believe. You know, even the gambler knows that. If I don't believe I'm going to hit, I'm not going to put all down. At some point, you got to go all in on yourself. And you got to do that. I think also betting on yourself is your ability to take a risk.
Yeah.
You got to take a risk. You can't get comfortable. When you're comfortable, then what happens is you always revert back to that which you've always done.
Yeah.
Sometimes God, when he gets ready to move you into something great, Genesis 12, the Lord speaks to Abram and tells him to get up from his country, from that which is familiar, and go to a land that he would show him. And I think that's often how God moves us, pushes us on into greater things.
Yeah, he makes you a little bit uncomfortable. It may look scary. It may look a little bit intimidating. But I would argue, for me, and I know, you've talked about this too, like if you're thinking, I'm going to do this and it seems really easy and really doable, I think you can do it. Right. And I think you do a really great job doing it, but I'm not convinced that that's your purpose. That's that thing that God really wants you to do. It's usually the thing that scares you, the thing that you want to do, but you're frightened by, that thing that you want to do, but you're intimidated by. And the reason that I say that is because God is so God, right? That if he's going to give you something and it's going to be amazing, you're going to have to take him with you.
That's good.
And to have that kind of intimidation and that kind of, God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but the reality is like sometimes a little fearful, right? Like, but that idea that, oh my goodness, this is so much bigger than anything that I can do by myself. That's a good thing, in my opinion, because that means that every step of the way, you will take God with you. You will not leave him behind as you climb. You will not leave him behind as you chase his dream. You will not leave him behind as you move forward into this next season. I think it's so critical. And like even Bishop says every once in a while, sometimes he used to tell me when we first got married, I used to ask him all the time, like, do you ever get nervous when you get on the stage to go preach? And he says, all the time. And that's when you know it's not you.
It's God.
It's God downloading. Because I can sit there as his wife and I can see the transition happening on the stage. I know sometimes what he's already prepared, and then he starts there, and then he just takes it to a whole nother level. And it's like he's outside of himself. That's God taking over in that moment. That's why he's able to touch everybody where they are in whatever season they are, all at the same time. And so
take God with you. Yeah. That's about wherever you go, he'll go with you. It's like the Bible talks about that in Isaiah, that wherever I lead you, I will be with you. You're not going to be by yourself.
Yeah.
He'll never send you somewhere he will not be with you himself. Yeah. And I think that's an incredible part. Read Hebrews 11:1 like this. Now, risk is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So it's about taking a risk. It's about believing in yourself. It's about taking a risk. But I also think it's about really shutting out the chatter.
Yeah.
Negativity.
Shutting out the negativity.
Negativity, man, because you won't bet on yourself if you're constantly subscribed to what people are adversely speaking over your life. Your mom ain't never did that. Your daddy, who you think you are. You don't have the money. You don't have this. You don't have that. And people will give you a list of reasons why you should not do it.
But you're too old. You're not smart enough. They don't want you.
They don't want you.
Like, what do you think you think you're better than everybody? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What?
That's good.
Shut it out. Because if God places this in your spirit, and if you believe it, and if this is something that you really want to do, go for it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is investment, right? Like, we invest
talk about it.
Our finances and our time and energy and effort into so many different things that have nothing to do with getting us to where we're trying to go, right? And so betting on yourself is really about saying, you know what, like, what do I need? What skill sets do I need to get to the next level? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to, figure out how I'm going to do that? Do I need to get 2 jobs so I can put myself through school? Do I need to take out a student loan? Do I need to do, like, whatever those things are that you're investing in order to, to reach your goal? Do you need to save for a year before and sacrifice before you go back to school in order to make sure that you have that nest egg in order to do what those things that you need to do? Like, whatever those things are, we're constantly pouring out into other people, other things, supporting other people's dreams. Like, if you want to do something, betting on yourself is putting your money where your mouth is. and that is on you.
Amen. That's real, right? That like, whoa. What's the emoji when the thing come out your head? Is it like your head's blown?
Mind blown.
Your mind blown?
Mm-hmm.
She's blown my mind. No, but really, man, that's so true. Like, right? Because sometimes we don't reassess where our investments are going. And we're at that season, you start reassessing and saying, wait a minute, how could I be more effective in believing in my own brand, my own gift? I gotta be the first to put seed in there. I gotta be the first to invest. That's so important. I think that's a huge thing. And I think when you bet on yourself, man, you gotta walk like in the sense of, let me say this, I want to say it delicately, like you gotta forget about what was. You got to walk into this new season. The Bible says, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching to those things which are ahead, I press toward the mark. And I talk about this all the time because if you're pressing toward the mark, Paul is very clear. There has to be adverse forces trying to push against you to keep you from it. But the force in you that wants the thing to manifest must be greater than the force that's trying to prevent it from manifesting.
Yeah.
Like every single day, you got to wake up with a sense of determination. You got to wake up and make sure, like, if I am going to bet on myself, I'm going to drop something on you. And we've been talking about this in our home. Like, what are you doing? Get up and work out. Get up and eat right.
I was just going to say that.
Right? Yeah, you going to sit around here and lay up and let yourself go and talk about, I'm betting on me. No, man, this is a season you have to be in optimal mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health. Betting on you means, Lord, I want to present a vessel that is optimal, that whatever you want to do, I have capacity to fulfill it. He's never going to give you something you don't have the capacity to do.
And I would say, if you're not sure, give yourself 90 days.
Yeah, please.
You can do anything for 90 days. Anything. 90 days, 60 to 90 days, that's how habits are formed.
You're talking.
60 to 90 days, that's how, lives are transformed. Go underground for 60 to 90 days. Commit to yourself, commit to your vision, commit to your dream. Do whatever you need to do. Stay focused, almost like go tunnel blind, like go into this tunnel where you're not looking right, you're not looking left, you're not listening, you're not worrying about what he, she, they are doing. You're not listening to any of the chatter. You're just focusing on you. It's okay to be a little bit selfish, honestly, a lot selfish in this season if it's about investing in you. And then see what happens. Just test the theory. 90 days, and you can even count down. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 89, day 90, right? And so I say that because it can be so easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis.
That's good.
Trying to figure out, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to start. Just start. Just take a baby step.
That's it.
All this AI, go on AI and ask AI, hey, AI, act as my, business manager or my advisor and, utilize the best research around XYZ topic and give me the first 5 steps that I need to do X, Y, and Z. And this is the population that I'm trying to serve. And this is who I am. And this is my demographics. And this is my background. What skills do I need to go about doing this? I mean, like all this AI technology, that's your free research right there, And, some people might laugh at it, but that stuff is powerful. And so many people all over the globe are using it. And it's not just college students or lay people. It is like CEOs, physicians, doctors, some of the greatest people in the world are turning around and using AI to do their basic research because it's the same as hiring an assistant to do it.
Every day of the week.
Instead of hiring the assistant, go to AI, go to Bing, go whatever that co-pilot is. Like there's so many things that you can utilize that are right at your fingertips to be able to help you move to that next level. But again, just like that 90-day, you can do anything for 90 days.
That's good. That's good. It talks about habits too formed after so 90 days or so. I think you can. I think that's important. And let me just be honest. Like we have completely betting on ourselves. Like us doing this right here is betting on ourselves, believing that this content, what we share, is a blessing to you. And, we do a lot in the community, and we do a lot, and we thank God for it. But at some point, you got to bet on you.
I mean, not even this. I mean, I've been betting on myself my entire, I would say, Probably since I was in middle school, high school. You know what I mean? Because people would always count me out. People would always be like, well, you can't do this. You can't do this. You're not smart enough. And I'd be like, let me show you.
Same.
I believe in me. You don't have to believe in me. I believe in me.
Same.
You don't know my God. God has already spoken to me and spoken into my life. I know what I'm capable of doing. Whether I knew that I could actually do it or not, this was self-affirmations that I was giving myself. Instead of me, saying that you're going to do it, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do it. You can do it. Well, we're going to do it together. But what you're not going to do is leave me behind, right? And so even going to medical school, doing my residency training, my entire adult life was about betting on myself. And it's not about just being so selfish that you don't support other people at all.
Right.
No, it's lifting as we climb. To whom much is given, much is required. Every step that God allows you to take, you reach back and you bring somebody along. Every door that God allows you to enter, you reach back, you bring somebody along. Every opportunity that God gives you, you make sure that you open that same door for somebody else. It's about give and take. It's about sowing those seeds. It's about, yes, betting on yourself, but in betting on yourself, you're taking God with you. Yes, we already talked about that, but you're also bringing people along. And with that, I truly believe that's why we're so blessed.
I believe
it's because, God blesses you not to just be a reservoir of blessings, right? Yeah, bet on yourself. You're going to get there if you bet on yourself. But what are you going to do once you get there?
Yeah.
How are you going to serve your community? How are you going to serve the people? How are you going to serve the kingdom with whatever it is that God is blessing you with?
And that has a lot to do with your motive.
Yeah.
Checking your motive, man. Checking your why. Why do you want to do it? Is it because you want the applause of people? You're trying to make it name? No. You want to be transformational. You want to be a blessing. You want to be a servant. That's what gets God's attention. And I'm telling you, I believe with all of my heart. So I bet on you, man.
Yeah.
We just simply came by on this episode to tell you, you can do this. We're looking at
I believe in you.
Entrepreneurs, people that are doing extraordinary things. And don't let this year end without you making an intentional effort to invest,
you guys are so
to take
creative,
risks,
so
do all
innovative.
this cool stuff. Don't just sit back and accept the narrative that, well, you got to do a certain thing all of your life. Bet on you. God's giving you a dream. Go out and step out and make it happen. Make sure that you have clarity as you go forward. Don't go out in confusion, because some people, they're just out there, but they're confused. It doesn't even make sense.
Like, bet on you. I'm just going to jump. No. God is a God of order. Make a plan.
I'm going to quit my job, and I don't have a new job yet, but I'm going to trust God. No. No, God, have order in this, man. Line things up. And that's how it should work. So this is great, man. I love this episode. And I really hope that what you've heard today has been a tremendous blessing. I told you earlier that Philippians 1:6 says that thing that God has begun in you, he will perform until the day of Jesus Christ. Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and who are called according to his purposes. Meaning that when I am aligning my life with God's purpose for my life, that's when I know no matter what happens in the process, it's gonna all be good.
Faith on fire.
All gonna be good, right? This was a good one, babe.
Yeah.
How you feel about it?
Feel great.
If y'all have some comments, questions, make sure you put the comments in the comment section.
Yes.
Make sure you hit up Steph at Dr. Steph Walker. Hit me up at Joseph Walker 3. We want to talk about this because I believe things that we have planned in our ministry to invest in you, we believe in you. We want to see you make it. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, I need this episode as a push, then mission is accomplished.
You can do it.
Yes.
We believe in you.
You got this. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And until next time, peace out.